Well, that was a great little piece on Tab there. And speaking of Tab, Jessica Galbo.
Hey.
This year's choreographer, last year's choreographer, 3 years, in fact, right?
That's right.
And then how many years involved in the organization?
4 years. I started out as the rehearsal director, model coordinator, and then I was lucky enough to work with you.
That's right. We work together. Full disclosure, we're siblings. Also, I mean, our year was amazing. I think in terms of like just us working together, it was a lot of fun. And so you caught the bug, and now you're continuing it. But before we go on, before I ask you all the tough questions about choreography, I want to ask you, how'd you get here? Tell me a little bit.
How did I get here today?
Like Telluride. Not today. That's probably a story in itself. But to Telluride.
Telluride. So my husband and I were living in San Francisco, and we were going to have our first child. And as you know, Candace, my mom, was living, she had retired to a place just south of Moab to have an art gallery espresso bar. And so we decided to go there for a few months and lay low, and we ended up staying there for a few years. And then we were going to go either back to one of the East Coasts, and we ended up coming to Telluride.
Yeah, and originally, Mark Galbo is your husband, who runs the Rock and Roll Academy, and he got a job with Blues and Brews, right?
Yeah, he started with Blues and Brews, and then everything snowballed, and we both got really busy here.
Yeah, you've sort of done a ton of stuff here, right? Like everything. You were on the PTA. You were the head of the PTA for a while for the Telluride Mountain School, and a slew of other things, I'm sure.
That's right. Yeah, I worked for Mountain Film for 5 years.
Yep, that's right, Mountain Film for 5 years.
And I work for Palm Arts Dance currently as well, teaching ballet and contemporary and hip hop. And I was so lots of different nonprofit work.
Yeah. So let's.
Worked with Peter Kinworthy for a long time.
There you go. There's that too. So you're wealthy, then, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Nonprofit work.
Yeah. This is all just for fun.
Nice. Speaking of fun, choreography.
Yeah.
And I say fun loosely because it is fun ultimately, but we work together, in that original piece, and it is a ton of work, especially for Tab, because it's a lot of choreography.
It is. Every minute of every song, there are about 26 lines, and each line has a song, and every minute of every song of roughly 40 models, not in each line, but needs to be choreographed down to the exact step and count.
How do you, because Tab has a lot of walking in it too, so how do you decide, and Sean Roja is the director this year.
Sean Roja is artistic director.
That's right, artistic director, and he was the artistic director last year too. So how do you guys decide together what needs to be walked and what needs to be choreographed?
The whole show is choreographed. So starting with, my process basically is I will, we'll have a song that we've chosen together. I'll start counting out the song. I have a sheet that I do that on. It looks like hieroglyphics. And then I look at the 12 or 16 or however many models, and I just start blocking it out. And then I look at the models. They have different skills, and some of them are dancers, some are walkers. And, every line isn't a dance line, but every line is choreographed. And so my process for the 4 hours each night is just talking, moving bodies, putting my hands on people, moving them around, having them walk on the eights. And so I don't sit down or stop talking for about 4 hours, and then it just kind of builds itself from there. But the song itself is a structure, and then Sean, I'll usually have him cut the song. Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, yes, I do.
And then usually some sort of pattern or something emerges, and that's when the process is really fun, because you start getting into the zone where you're not thinking about anything else, and then you start seeing the bodies moving, and of course you're counting, so there'll be 6 people on the stage at any given time or coming onto the stage, and so you have to count backwards through 8s and forward, and so it's...
See, you're already losing me. You're losing me, and we did one together, which is amazing. So tell me, do you have a specific style that you think that, in terms of choreography, like things that you like to do up there?
I like all different kinds of dance, and I teach all different kinds of dance, so I think I've put in ballet, contemporary, hip-hop, but I guess I come from a place of what is going to look good, like the overarch of the song, the feeling in the song, the movers that are there, they all have different, their bodies have different attitudes and the way they walk, so I want to make them look their absolute best, and so sometimes I'll teach movement or choreography, and sometimes I'll add to some models and have other ones walk, so I really try to build it around who's in the room and making it look as good for the audience and for the models too. I want them to feel awesome. Great. That's my goal.
Yeah, well, you've done well in 2 years, and I'm sure this year will be no different. Tell me a little bit about what happens in that final week. Like, how do you guys, because you guys don't, you guys are actually just on a floor with tape on it, right, for most of the time, which is just like a taped out runway. Yeah. So what happens during the final week?
Our rehearsal space is the lobby at the Palm, and thanks to Kathy Jepson, who's been incredible to work with. We show up, and this year Alyssa and Trent have been taping out the runway, and so we're literally walking on tape on carpet, and then when we get up to the conference center, I think it's like 3 feet off the ground. So a lot changes, and so we start paying attention to our feet this next week, making sure we're standing within the tape guidelines.
And people don't even know, you guys get the clothes like 4 or 5 days before?
15 minutes before the show. No, we actually have the clothes.
Oh, you do? Oh, great.
And that's been really nice. I think this year is a record for how many lines and designers. And so for me, it's been an even bigger job because we want to get as much fashion on the runway as we can. We have lots of models. And so our models are working pretty hard this year. There are going to be quick changes, and there's just a ton of fashion. So, sometimes the choreography will change, depending on if they're in pants or dresses. Obviously, can't put your hands in your pockets. But once the styling, for me, once I see what they're going to wear, their fittings are going to be this weekend. So once I see what they're wearing, actually changes a little bit on the styling, like when they hit at the end of the runway or on the sides, what their attitude is, how they feel in it. So a lot of things change then, but you're talking about the week of. Sorry.
Sorry, I jumped in there, but but the week of when you guys actually get onto the stage, you said there's a 3-foot runway and everything like that, but then you're also, people are loading in everything. The conference center doesn't have any of this infrastructure, right?
Nothing. So Saturday, I think the tech, they start building out on Friday and Saturday, and then Sean and I will go up there on Saturday and just check things out, because the set, I don't want to give anything away, but the set this year is really intricate, and there's a lot going on with it, and so Sean's been working on that almost full time. We have a bunch of surprises and things that we've never done up there, and so we have to make sure that all the tracking and everything's where it is, and so there are lots of adjustments.
You guys had a lot of tech last year. What was the just if you could leave the audience with something, what would you be exploring this year as part of the theme, or can you not reveal any of that? It's okay if you can.
I can reveal the theme.
Okay.
I think it's widely known. The theme is Dream On, and so imagining a future without HIV. And so if you ask yourself, this disease has been around for so long and has such a unbelievable history, and it's still happening. I mean, there's over 12,000 people in Colorado living with HIV/AIDS. And so it hasn't gone away. And so we ask people, it's going in the right direction, but what would it look like? And that could come in a bunch of different forms of question, like what would you be doing? What would people be doing? What would we be focusing our energy on? What other things could be also, resolved? And so that's a big open-ended question that we're hoping to explore in lots of different ways. Fun, exciting, funny.
And we can just get tickets online, right?
You can get tickets, you can go to TellurideAIDSbenefit.org.
Great.
And you can buy your tickets there, and I hope you do. It's going to be an exciting year, super fun. We have lots of fun and funny and beautiful moments.
You got to go see it.
Exceptional models.
It's one of the greatest shows in town. It's one of the greatest things that we do all year. Jessica Galbo, thank you very much for coming down to the studio. And if we see you, can we say hi to you the day of, or is it too? Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so the day of, she's got a drink in her hand. Say hello and say thank you, because she choreographed that piece.